Hello, hello, my beautiful people. Thanks so much for stopping by my channel. If you're new here, welcome. My name is Gertie and I'm the counselor and transformational coach at Butterfly Project. So today I wanted to talk about the word that came up that is the theme for 2026, both in my life, in the work that I'm doing on this channel as well. So I'm going to dive into that, but I just wanted to mention that, the past year that we had, 2025, was actually year of the snake, in Chinese zodiac. And that's all about, think of that, like shedding the skin, right? And this year is actually the year of the horse, which is all about, action, forward movement, momentum. So last year, a lot of us had a difficult year. It was a lot of, loss, a lot of shedding, a lot of releasing in whatever way this was, whether it was physically, with things or situations, or, for a lot of us, it had to do with the ego. Now, remember, the ego is the part of our brain that is just there for survival. And what it will do is it will use fear to protect us, right? And unfortunately, though, this was created from a lot of things like society and, conditioning from our childhood, from, the experiences that we've had in our life, if we've had any trauma, things like that. And so the ego, unfortunately, really limits us. And so there was a lot of releasing in our life last year and shedding of that skin to, get to a place, which is the word for this year, which is the theme for this year, of authenticity. Okay, so 2026 theme is authenticity. Now, the ego, right? Like I said, tries to limit us and keep us small and not be our authentic selves and not be able to thrive and live the lives that we are supposed to and meant to live. Because you guys, I keep saying this message, especially with all the loss I had last year, and I know a lot of you share in a lot of loss last year as well. Life's too short, right? And so we want to make the best of it and have, the best experience and make the most of the only time that we have here, and none of us know how much that is. So my goal is to help you all to become your most authentic selves. So authenticity is something that comes pretty natural to me. It's just part of, my character. I've always been this way, right? People usually tell me I'm very authentic. That doesn't just mean unique. It means genuine and real, honest, having really strong values and beliefs. So this is what I want to help you all with, and to release and, to continue. Part of this work is to continue releasing anything that is really holding you back. So what area of your life do you find that maybe there's fear, maybe there's, conditioning, limits, beliefs, all is society, all of these things that are limiting you and holding you back from having the life that you want in whatever area it is. It could be health, it could be work, it could be money, relationships, all of these things, right? So I Googled what this actually means, what this word means. And usually I, kind of meditate or set an intention for like a word for the theme for the year. But this word came through at the end of December, very loud and clear for me as I was reflecting on, 2025 and looking ahead into 2026. And this word kept coming up. So I wanted to look at what's the actual definition of it. So authenticity means genuine, real, true to your own values, personality, and spirit, rather than imitating others or acting under pressure to fit in. So one of the other things for me as part of the kind of description for authenticity is honesty and integrity. And when I actually went further into, what authenticity actually means and what it encompasses and entails, honesty actually did come up, right? So in order for us to get to this place of authenticity, it involves self-awareness, aligning your actions with your words and your beliefs, aligning your actions and words with your beliefs, and embracing both your positive and negative aspects with self-acceptance. Okay, you guys will notice that, like I just did, made mistakes. I don't try to edit those. I'm just raw and real on here, right? No need to be perfect. And that was one thing I needed to overcome in my life, was perfection, right? So here's what else it had to say. Self-awareness. This is you knowing your core values, beliefs, motivations, and emotions. That is key, right? Is to become self-aware. Then to get into alignment, right? Ensuring that your actions, your words, and your behaviors match your inner self, the real you, not the mask that you put on, right? That comes from fear, right? Societal norms and, any kind of, belief systems, conditioning from your childhood, all these things, right? Honesty, being truthful with yourself and others, even when it's uncomfortable. And that's that integrity piece, right? Self-acceptance, embracing your whole self, imperfections included, and acting with self-compassion. And then resilience, using authenticity as a buffer against negative coping mechanisms and loneliness. If you guys know, I'm also, specialized in addictions, counseling, as well as, mental health and couples and a bunch of different areas, domestic violence, all those things. But what I found in working with people, and also just, with friends and family, is that I have seen when we are not authentic, we're not coming from that place of authenticity, right? When we're not our authentic selves, what happens is we tend to gravitate to negative coping mechanisms, whether that is addictions or maybe it's toxic habits or behaviors or patterns, right? That we tend to isolate ourselves and we get into these, bad places. So being your authentic self is actually a way to be resilient in this area and to use it as a buffer, right? I totally agree with that. So what I noticed was, with all of this, to be our authentic selves, and this is also, from spending, time with friends and family and seeing what's out there, in our world, or what's happening in our society, and also working with clients and things, stories that I hear in all these situations. What I noticed was people aren't accepting of others. They're not compassionate or empathic. It's like we've lost that. People, there's so much judgment and criticism and pessimism, and all this negativity and toxicity. And this is happening because we're not being our authentic selves, right? So we're not in a place of authenticity. And so if we're not in that place, then it's really hard to do that for other people as well. So I also found that helping you all and, working on this authenticity, right, as the theme for the year, this also helps us to get a place of acceptance, non-judgment, compassion, and empathy, right, which leads us to a place ultimately of love. And what is love? Every baby is born, as love, pure love, right? We come from love, God, divine, the universe, source, right? Source energy, higher self, whatever you want to believe. Ultimately, it is love. That is our true authentic nature, is love, right? And where there is love, there is no fear. Fear is ego. That's there just to help us with our survival. But our authentic selves really is love. And when we can get to this place of all the things that I listed, then what happens is ultimately we get to that place of love. And what I found was, to get from fear to love, what bridges the gap between the two, what bridges us from fear to love, is authenticity, right? So I thought, like, how perfect is this? And ultimately this, love, being our authentic selves, being in this place of authenticity, helps us get to a place of love for self and for others or humanity. Okay. Self-love is a big one that I teach on this channel, right? So if we can become our authentic selves, that removes so many of the issues that people have. Okay. Judgment, right? Getting to a place of non-judgment, to getting to a place of acceptance, compassion, empathy, really was at the core of this theme for this year that I want to help people get to. It is so important to me. I'm an empath, right? And so I just have such a, love and compassion and acceptance for humanity, and so much non-judgment. I'm a very forgiving person. This is why I'm also a very spiritual person, and this also has helped me a great deal, right, in being my authentic self. So it is us getting back to the real core you, to be able to live in authenticity so that you can thrive, not just survive. And that is my goal for this year. So, authenticity, think of that as this year's theme. All right, my loves. So that's what I have for you today. Hopefully you are doing well in the start of, this new year, 2026. Hopefully you are doing what I mentioned in my other video previously to ease into 2026. If you haven't watched that, you might want to check that out. And also don't forget to do all the things. Like this video, comment down below, share my video and channel with others. I would truly appreciate any number of these things or all of these things. It really is the best way to help me, to help my channel to grow, to get my messages out there. And as well, if you're new here, welcome. I would love for you to subscribe to my channel, be part of this evergreen butterfly family. Don't forget to hit the bell icon so you get notified of new videos. And yeah, as you all know, my biggest passion really is to help as many people as I possibly can. So I hope you're all doing well, and I will be, doing a lot more videos, a lot more content, and I have a bunch of things that I'm working on throughout this year to help all of you get to this place of authenticity. All right, my loves, and as always, I wish you all peace, love, and light. Till next time, bye-bye.